We got slides coming up here. Well, I'll just start explaining who I am. I'm Dan Oliver, CEO and co-founder of Rejuvenate Bio. This is actually kind of a surreal moment. We actually have a round closing literally right now on my laptop. We have a major pharma partner finishing off and wiring us. So I have done many pitch competitions, but I've never done one where we actually have money coming into the bank account while it's happening. So excited to be doing this, but it's super exciting to be here. It is fun balancing those two things while you're at a conference. So yes, I'm Dan Oliver, CEO of Rejuvenate Bio. This is probably going to be the most controversial part of my presentation. We're based out of Harvard. And so we spun out of George Church's lab at Harvard Medical School. We are attacking aging, though. And so Yale does have a robust set of folks that do really interesting aging science. We just happen to be from that other university, but I did wear a blue shirt for you all today. So forgive me here. So let's go into what we're actually attacking. Aging is a gigantic problem, not only for individuals, but actually for our healthcare system at large. It really drives basically almost every major chronic disease you can see as we get older. And unfortunately, today's treatments are really short-term focus and really only typically go after particular symptoms and don't really look at the problem systematically. And so we're talking about 129 million Americans, and these are humans that live with a chronic disease. But interestingly enough, we're actually interested in treating aging in both humans and for the pets we love the most. And so if we can solve this, it's not only going to help the people and the animals we love the most, but it also dramatically help the huge amount of spend that we see in our current healthcare system. And so how are we doing that? We're creating a new class of medicines that really will go after this underlying issue. And so our platform utilizes gene therapy to deliver DNA that allows us to have the patient basically create these beneficial proteins from their own cells. And so we target genes that affect aging. We actually source these from transgenic mouse experiments where effectively these mice live 30% longer. We're able to, what we call therapize them, drop them into a gene therapy. And so one-time administration of our gene therapy payload has actually shown across both mice and now actually in dogs to be beneficial at treating multiple different chronic diseases. And so this is where it gets exciting. This isn't a science project. It's not really science fiction anymore. We have robust validation, in particular, a very conservative market in animal health, where we've signed over 130 million of commercial partnerships, actually have a major strategic that's coming in that's buying into our human and animal health story. And it allows us to actually have this be the last round of financing we will ever have to raise ever again. And so one shot really allows us to address two massive markets. Obviously, you have the animal health market I just talked about, which is growing. You know, a number of these companies that are major pharmaceutical players have market caps approaching 100 billion. But of course, if we are able to go after the human market and go after indications in cardiac and the metabolic space, you're talking about huge possible returns. And again, we are interested in creating therapies that have a similar profile to GLP-1 in as much that we don't think they'll be limited to a particular disease class, but that will be able to go out and treat both metabolic, cardiac, renal disease as we move forward. And so, you know, huge, massive exit potential near term on the animal health side, where we're able to take advantage of kind of robust set of animal health players that are buying into next generation modalities. These two exits are both monoclonal antibody companies, and they are now buying into biologics generally. But in animal health, people don't like taking their dog or cat back to the vet 12 times a year. So now they all want one-time administration biologics. That's exactly what a gene therapy is. And so with that, love to have people that are in the room come and talk to me if they're interested in joining. We are closing our initial tranche today, but we'll be expanding that out. And we have some major investors coming in, including some that are Connecticut-based here, like Connecticut Innovations. These funds will allow us, as I mentioned, to get to commercialization on our first two animal health assets through commercial partners, and really gives us financial flexibility because we never really have to raise money ever again. So with that, if you're interested in joining our journey for treating aging, would be appreciative of being able to talk to you folks, and thank you so much for having me. Well, I guess the last questions, right? Are there questions?
No, there are no
Okay,
questions.
great.
This session has no questions.